Good night, good night, good night. You can hear me, Nigel?
Loud and clear.
All right. Okay. I know there's usually a little interlude. He would usually play the little jingle at the beginning, but I guess he switched up things a little bit tonight. Welcome to the viewers. Welcome, Nigel, as usual. What's the weather like out there, Nigel, tonight?
Right now, it is 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh,
which is rather chilly.
yes, rather chilly, Yeah,
Sure.
I know about 80 something and 70 something. Believe it or not, as I always say, for some reason, I know Celsius. Like I can understand Celsius more than I don't know why. It's a funny thing. That's how you socialize. But
so it'll be 4 degrees Celsius. That's what we're dealing with
pardon?
here right now. 4
4
degrees Celsius, yeah. 4
Oh
degrees
boy,
Celsius.
boy.
Yeah.
Boy. No, boy. I once experienced something called cool sun. To me, it was called cool sun because I would say I look bright. I would say I look as though it was going to be a nice hot sunny day. You step outside, I had to run back inside. It's extremely cold. That was in England. That was in
Okay.
England. Yeah, so it's
For sure.
a different type of experience. But again, another alternate views, another Thursday night. Ecstatic to be here once again, as usual. We have another packed show tonight. Going another 2.5 hours, getting in obviously some topics and some heavy hitting topics. Obviously some light moments as usual. And we can have you, and we just want to encourage your alternate views every single time. It's good that we can have obviously a civil conversation. We can have a little back and forth. I saw people in the comments on one of the shows debating, which is good and being very respectful, and we scared for it all the time. We scared for it. Mr. Stuart can soon pop in, and we'll be obviously starting the show. The topic tonight: living black in Barbados. I think we started to discuss that, right? It was a book. That's correct. That was from last week.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That is correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it was a book. We
dealt with page 69 and page 30.
Page 30.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
69 a little more political than page 30,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
We had a very good show last night, and each and every Thursday night, even the Wednesday, I asked myself, some of the topics. I said, well, how are we gonna talk for 2.5 hours here? Well, we can really
Mm,
say,
mm.
and thank we gotta thank the viewers. We gotta thank obviously ourselves, because we are able to do it each and every Thursday night, and
For
we
sure.
do it with some form of diplomacy. It's always respectful, always good to go. Right. So
Absolutely.
I'm hoping for
Absolutely.
another one of those one of these shows tonight
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Right. I
The
think we
alternative.
have here Mr. Kemar Stuart coming in, on onto the panel, and he
Mm.
is obviously going to kickstart things. The topic of the night, Kemar, living black in Barbados. Living black in Barbados. And it was, as I told Nigel and the viewers, we had already started the hot topic from last week. So it's sort of a continuation, and you know how it goes. We will get into it very, 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 very soon. Right?
Just let me say a good night to all the viewers and greetings, holiday seasons. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas to everybody. Thank you for joining us once again on another Thursday, hard hitting Thursday. As Ramon just said, I don't know what I'm going to do on my Thursday nights when this is the season finale. I do not know what I am going to do on my Thursdays now, but we're happy to be here, happy to see you all, and we can get this show up on the road.
Yes, man. Yes, man. For sure. For sure. 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 But I know that Kimar is one of Kimar's favorite books. Now, we discussed race. We discussed not the demographic, the geography of Barbados, and certain how it's segregated, started segregated, the origins. Uh, you know, we we discussed where a particular uh, group would have settled. We talked about Hastings. We talked about Belleville. We talked about all the businessmen would have come into on the south coast, actually, so on the south coast, and also in Belleville as well. So then you had some lawyers also in Belleville. Is Belleville? Yes, it's Belleville. And Strathclyde. Strathclyde was another area we actually mentioned. So, and we talked a little bit about classism. We talked about obviously schools. We had a little debate about schools, etc. So, this would be a continuation, obviously, of that type of rhetoric. And obviously, as usual, we can talk about it with a host of other topics. We will get into. There's no doubt about it. Right? So, this is a natural flow all the time.
Mhm.
Yes, Kimar, the man of the hour, as per usual. Yeah, living black in Barbados.
Yes, well, good night, fellas. I'm happy to have you on the program as usual. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you, Nigel. For being here. Today is the 19th of December, 2024, and we're typically at the end of our um, like someone is giving me a 1 second again the screeching noise.
Yeah, I think that might be on your end, Kimar.
Um, is it clear? Just let me know. Is that screeching gone? Or
You
still
sound
getting it?
clear now. You sound
Ah,
clear now.
perfect. Well, yes, well, I am on Alternate Views. Yeah, another Thursday. We are a couple of days from Christmas Day and the holiday season. For those persons who celebrate the holidays, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you. Um, Fellas, I hope you enjoy your holidays. Thank you to all of the alternate viewers who would have brought us to this point, fellas. Without the without the alternate viewers turning on every Thursday, we would not have a show. So we wanted to personally thank them for making alternate views what it is. We want to thank the we are still getting some noise and echo.
That's kind of strange. I think it might be you're safe for some reason. I think maybe
Um,
Nigeria.
are they sure this is not crickets? You're not hearing the crickets? Because
Okay, might be the cricket. Might be the cricket.
everything should be smooth on my end. Um, yeah.
Yeah, the
Hey,
cricket. Yeah, cricket. From what I'm hearing, the cricket. Yeah.
yeah. Somebody saying it's a screeching noise. But as we were saying, though, I want to thank you all, even the crickets, for tuning in faithfully every weekend. Um, I personally thank you for coming on and making the program. I want to thank the editor of Alternate Views, Margot Calendar. Well, Bendo's calendar, sorry, and Margot Calendar for making Alternate Views the book what it is. I want to thank you all personally for making the online podcast what it is today. We're at season two. This is the finale of season two. So at the end here, we want to end here with a bang. So we chose the topic living black in Barbados because majority of us in Barbados are, we consider black, a black population, a black country, and many of us have eh, many of us have different varying experiences as black people and the black nation. So Christmas is also a period of reflection for the masses. We tend to think about it as gifts. We like to think about it as dressing up and going to Queen's Park, taking trips, and all of that is nice, but the reflective period that it is intended to mark a day in celebration of Christ, Jesus Christ, and we should take the time to have some solace and solitude and take a reflective moment as to how far we have become, how far we have come as a country to determine if the position we're at right now is best suited for us as a population. Do we live where we're at right now? If we don't, um, what are we doing to progress ourselves past the point we're at? How serious are we in focusing on new ideas and refining old ideas for the betterment of a society, Barbados 2025? What is the vision for Barbados 2025 and beyond? A country under the arm and deep in the bosom of the IMF. What really is the future of a country where majority of the population are living black? Right? Now, without further delay, fellas, as you know, living black in Barbados is, a book, literally a book, living black in Barbados. And well, right. So, as I was saying, the book Living Black in Barbados by Randall Calendar, Randall C. Calendar, he spoke to 1961 to the present. 1961 to the present. And Living Black in Barbados, I will invite the fellas now to call a number as usual. As we have a reflective time as comrades on alternate views tonight, coming on to the end of the year. So we would have done a traditional review, you know, where we would have gone back through the period, discuss all topics, rehash what happened throughout the year, touch a bit on government, but we're touching now on the personal experiences of the people. through the calendar ice. So I want to invite the fellas to call some numbers. Let us study into living black in Barbados.
All right. I went first the first time. You go ahead, Nigel. You're
Page
muted.
94.
Okay. 94.
Yeah, page 94. You're up there.
94. Kemar.
Sorry. I mean, yeah, 94, page 94. Um, Let us head to page 94 in Living Black in Barbados. And again, Living Black in Barbados is a publication made by Vendor Calendar. Well, Ramon, it seems that you have a knack for calling up the political, um,
Well,
the
no, no,
political
that
element.
was Nigel. That was Nigel this time, Kemar. That was Nigel this time.
Ah, so I'll start at page 94, which starts at page 93, right? Because it is a continuation. So you start at where the paragraph begins.
Okay.
At page 93, 94, in Living Black in Barbados by Randall Callan. And it says, by 1999, Owen Seymour Arthur, Prime Minister of Barbados, had started to consolidate his power by even attracting community practitioner Hamilton Lashley, who was the sitting member of parliament for St. Michael's South East, who previously sat on the opposition bench. He also had his eyes on quietly integrating Dr. Richard Haynes as some professional members of the National Democratic Party into the ranks of the Barbados Labour Party, pursuing a policy of what he called politics of inclusion. And he noted the air of discontent within the DLP and also sought to attract some of its younger politicians. 1999 saw the folding of the National Democratic Party. And with their support, the BLP went home to a 26-2 victory over the DLP. Owen Arthur seemed large and in charge. However, quiet observers recognized that there were bourgeois elements that were exercising great influence. There is a view that he was grateful for their support, since they were the ones protecting him from the sharks, who may have been uncomfortable with the fact that a boy of humble origins could exercise such national influence and be associated with the prestige of prime ministerial office.
Mm.
The growing success seemed to have overwhelmed him to the extent that he gradually became more intemperate and offensive in situations not meriting that type of behavior. Following his defeat at the general election in 2008, the Prime Minister decided to decline to be considered for leadership, and his deputy, uh, Mayor Motley, was elected by the parliamentary group to be their leader and henceforth leader of the opposition at the time. The issues of power relations seemed to be tenuous as the new leader focused on placing her stamp of authority on the party. Meanwhile, Arthur tried to stay in the background since he sensed the leader's insecurity. Things took a turn for the worse when the leader was accused of acting autonomously when asked to meet with the parliamentary group to discuss matters that were related to the administration of the party. Um, yeah, so that is your quote, Omar. So I want you to hold it. We're not going to discuss yet. I need you to hold that quote. And I want Nigel to give me a number.
No,
Let us
that was
say.
my number.
But that
Remember
was,
That
that
was
that
my
was
number.
Nigel's number.
that was
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
Nigel.
my
Nigel's
number.
number. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Nigel's number. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that was that was
That was Nigel.
interesting.
Yeah. Remember I said that I did one last week, 69, and that was a little political. So I can get Nigel the floor now, but coincidentally or ironically, Nigel Nigel get
Start with the
number
political.
So yeah, that's what happened. So we gonna hold the talk, and then I give a number now. Kimar.
Yeah,
All right. His number was what again? His number was
94.
94.
okay. I go with 50.
Fif-
Yes, 50.
fif- Okay, well, we're here at 50. And again, as I said earlier, the page starts at the previous number, the information paragraph. So we will revert back and start at page 49, which shows a picture of, I don't know if you can see it well, but,
Chattel house. A chattel house.
a chattel house
Yeah.
versus a modern
Yeah, modern house.
wall house, right? So a chattel house versus a modern wall house. And it says addressing deep social issues which contributed to divisiveness in society. Mr. Adams, meaning former Prime Minister Tom Adams, along with the Attorney General and Minister of Women's Affairs, Sir Henry Ford, ensure, ensured the passage of an act which treated common law marriage just like marriage in civil procedure once the two partners were cohabitating for 5 years or more. The Status of Children Reform Act also eliminated the concept of illegitimate forms from the statute book, granting all children the same status, whether born within or outside of wedlock. The Honorable Harold Bernard St. John had a little time to make a mark on the political and economic landscape after the death of Mr. Adams in 1985. And then, he went into some deeper political history. Yes. Um, yeah, so basically, that number you call deals with handling the issue of common law marriage, right? It says that if you have a girlfriend and you live together with her for more than 5 years, y'all are now married in law, you know? And also, we had an issue in Barbados where we had someone illegitimate children, So you will have your legit children in your household and then you will have children outside. That law changed that. So that is your number. So, Nigel, I want to hear from you. What was outstanding? Like, what was outstanding about the number you called and the information that you heard?
So what stood out to me is the consistent mentioning of class. So in the book, when the calendar mentioned that Owen Seymour Arthur was from humble beginnings, somebody that is from such humble beginnings, has galvanized the people of Barbados for his support. Uh, we touched on that earlier last week, where we spoke about schools and people coming from different areas and being a part of a certain class would allow you a certain access. So it is pointing to that is somehow inwoven into the fabric of Barbadian society, and I would dare say just society at large. Anywhere you go, I know definitely here in the US, it is it is a part of it, but it's a little bit easier. Whereas you if you could do good work, if you're adding value, you can get through. But even in certain stratospheres, you still have to be a part of a certain class in order to move forward and progress in society in a certain manner. So that stood out to me. So I would be interested in diving deeper into that role and see how that plays into and how that affects a society, at large.
Yeah. The more any comment to Major's comment or to the initial comment?
But as I mentioned last, classism. I mentioned that I have my strong views where that is concerned. I mean, it is really really strong. in Barbados, and as time goes on and the power gap becomes wider, the power gap being the haves and the person who don't have, when that power gap becomes wider, and you can see it as things become more difficult financially, IMF on the IMF program, etc. You're gonna get a wider power gap. You got the real poor, and then you got the people who got all the money, right? So, I always talk about classism in Barbados. Also, even back in 1999, there was inner conflicts, and some people, they act as though, inner fights within a family, is rare. That is something I also noticed as well too. And I really, even back then, there was some conflicts within the particular parties, etc. Right? So that's another thing that I actually noticed, or I would have analyzed and say, you know what? Well, this is what happened back in 1999. But we get on like, these things are anomalies. We get on that way. But all back in 1999, there were inner challenges, and conflicts. That's what I got from that passage.
But what I derive from when the calendars living black in Barbados, the first comment at page 94 is that we had one Alpha who off would have entered politics, and politics at the time was reserved. If you look at the history of political representation, politics at the time was reserved for persons who had land. The landowner could have voted. Only the landowner could have voted, right? And most landowners at the time were white. So the white had the political power in terms of voting. So through universal adult suffrage and our forefathers fighting for the right for the masses to vote, then the majority of the population were then enfranchised, to go and place a ballot for their candidate. Right? If you do a little quick history lesson uh, in Barbados' political history, at the time we had more conservatism in politics, meaning that you know political parties at the time governed specifically for the wealthy, right, who happen to be majority white. So we gradually increased. Um, we had the formation of no political parties, and it gave what we call the black people, the working class people, right? But let me just say, it moved from the black people being a black and white argument then to a class argument. So it was then argued that with the revolutionization of politics previously on the El Barrow, that then allowed the working class men and women to enter politics. So you had attorneys at law coming in with the establishment of PFL, like people that had to go overseas to study in England or like anymore. Um, you had attorneys, economists, um, doctors, um, accountants, those type of people coming into politics. She was some shopkeepers, right? So it wasn't a fact that you had to be educated for university to enter politics. Like, that was not an established fact. No, if you reference back the period of one alpha, based on what Mr. Calendar is saying, um, the circumstances surrounding his elevation, that a boy from humble beginnings who didn't necessarily come from the larger class, or he was not necessarily, affiliated with it, could associate himself with the office of prime ministership. So that was a breaking new ground in Barbados' history, right? Um, you know, Mr. Calendar made some other comments, but I won't dive into those comments. So I wanted to ask you guys the question and ask Barbados and ask all of the alternate viewers. Are we that class conscious when it comes to high offices and prestigious offices? Do we prefer a person from the wealthier class to be, in positions of senior leadership? Or are we open-minded and fair-minded to say that as long as you have the skill, the capability, qualification, everything, that you deserve a chance regardless of background? Um, what are we saying to not just the young people, but the people of Barbados, all people of Barbados in this day and age, the era of opportunity? What is this country saying to the majority black population uh, as it relates to aspiring to offices such as prime ministership, heads of, heads of massive corporations, entering into specific fields? You guys know what I mean. I don't mean just working at the head of a big company like Lime, or because black people do those jobs, black Asians do those jobs. But you guys know what I mean specifically. So when I say that, I mean let's look at the whole project. Like, those type of lucrative um, opportunities that some get. What are we saying to people in this day and age? What does Barbados have to offer, and what is it saying to you? Can you achieve these things living in Barbados, or is it because may not come from specific backgrounds that you must put these type of dreams and ambitions out of your mind? So I want to hear your guys' perspective.
Mm.
You can hit the floor
Go ahead.
first. Nigel, you can hit the floor first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting and loaded question, Mr. Stewart. I think when we talk about classism, when we talk about these positions that exist within a society, we have to acknowledge that there's a perceptive reality and then there's reality. And depending on your point of view and your access to information is how you're going to see or how you're going to perceive. Um, so where it would start is I've had conversations with some of everybody from every walk in life, right? And it does not matter what you dress like. That doesn't contribute to your information or the knowledge that you hold. I would say, all right, some of the Rastamen in Barbados are some of the highest minded Bajans that I've had conversations with in terms of conscious conversations, in terms of Barbadian society and global society. You could go to a rum shop and have a conversation with the average Bajan man as well. And he would be conscious to a certain aspect. So that does away with this class. But there is a certain class of person that would perceive even before walking into a conversation. Well, man, look, he going slippers. He going to surf a pants and a holy vest, man. He can't know nothing. Look how he carrying himself. So it depends on your access. It depends on perception versus reality. But I do think Barbados has been subject to that based on consumerism and just in order to have that consumerism in place, you have to have those levels of perception. Because how am I supposed to determine that I am better than you if I look like you, if I dress like you, if I live the same places you live? So with that separation in physicality also comes that separation mentally, which is not actually reality. That's just perception. So yes, we are being affected by that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Um, we want somebody that can get the job done. We want somebody that can get the job done. Somebody who has integrity, someone who is for the people, someone who is for the people. The general interest, their genuine interest is serving people. In the past, we've had people, in leadership positions with 20 degrees, 30 degrees, etc., etc., etc. But the humanities, they lacked humanities in a serious way. That's very important. The human element. I talk about the human element all the time, Kemar, because you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with people with problems, people with challenges, you know, people who need solutions. So that human element is needed. So again, academia, fantastic. I actually encourage it. However, you must have that human touch. You're serving people. You're not serving um, pillows, or you're not serving curtains or hangers. You're serving human beings. So anyone with that personal touch, that human touch, very that's a quality that you should look for. But again, as you mentioned, and I can tell a story here now. This young lady, uh, well, she worked at a bank, and there was this young man. He came in, all dirty, etc., etc. And the young lady refused to serve him. Refused to serve him. Now, a gentleman of the supervisor came over, and he was asking questions about the gentleman is there waiting, etc., etc. The gentleman, well, you don't think. And when the supervisor actually went by the computer next to the young lady and typed in the gentleman's account digits, the young lady then obviously the only thing the young lady didn't want to give him, well, the young lady wanted to give him everything, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, you know, was some dinner, and she apologized profusely, but it was too late, So we have this perception, we have this stigma attached to how people dress, and I believe that is how we were socialized, the collar and tie effect. And I can tell you now, a lot of those guys, a lot of the gentlemen who, are dirty, you perceive them as dirty, etc., they make good money. They make good money. But we look at them and say, and the guys who are collar and tie and so forth, you know. Again, I'm not knocking either group, but I'm just saying that we look and we judge. We look and we judge a lot, right? And you're right. I've had some talks and some words with all walks of life as well too. And when you sit down, really reason with these men, even the men in Ramshaw, you reason with them, you say, well, yeah, you got to think back, you got to step back. You say, well, I didn't see it that way, etc., etc. And but we look and we judge, right? We look and we judge.
Right.
I have an alternative view, but I want to hear what you think, Kimar. But I have an alternative view after you finish your point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what you guys said is fine, right? Um, but that is our lived experience of being connected to, the ground. That go around your shops, you socialize in different areas, get feedback from different person, um, enter into experiences of lifelong learning with many different demographics across the island, regardless of whatever standing they have in society. So that reasoning could go from a Rasta man, an Indian Muslim man, the old grandmother,
Mhm.
and it could even come from a primary school child, right? It could come from a billionaire. They could come from anybody, right? You don't discriminate when it comes to favor. So that is, and going back to Nigel's point, perceptive reality versus actual reality, right?
Yeah.
So our actual reality is that leadership, skills, talent vision could come from any demographic across a society, right? Regardless of class, color, creed, well-to-do, or not. But the chances of you succeeding living black in Barbados, right, is where I want to push you guys now. Right? And let's look gain opportunity. Regardless of how fine and dandy we may want to put it, there are Barbadians out there who are living. And I keep saying I'm championing a cause here for non-degreed, the non-degreed risk takers. People who because they don't go to university, who may feel like, they can't make it, who may feel like they don't qualify, who may feel like, their chances are slimmer. This is my pitch for them, right? For the talent of society, right? Any actual or the perceptive reality now, right? Which is this society that we call Barbados, the chances of us benefiting from those persons in society become slimmer and slimmer the higher up you go in Barbados, right? So the way how I hear people describe, particularly young people who enter into public life, and I don't mean politics, I just mean public life in general. The type of disparaging remarks you hear, the type of comments you hear, as soon as somebody find out, like, as soon as somebody uh, finds out that they're from a particular district or so, then the discrimination starts. Certain persons realize they didn't go to a particular school, then the discrimination starts. Then from time they find out that you didn't go to BCC, UE, then the discrimination gets even worse, right? So you have a set of people, underprivileged people in the society, predominantly the black base, feeling completely insecure, right? They're unmentored. They do not have no type of structural support and a proper family setting. Like majority of people in Barbados start in debt, meaning that the first couple of years working, they spend it paying back loans and debts or repairing a house or just starting from a deficit. Meanwhile, you have another set of younger people in Barbados starting at a surplus, meaning they have proper family structure in place, have adequate income to complete studies to the end, finish it, not having to work and go to school, they have proper mentorship. As Nigel said, they have access to resources where the chances of them succeeding are way higher, Ramon, than somebody who's born in particular circumstances, in particular neighborhoods, with a mother or father that does a particular job, and a particular job meaning a maid, you know, or a street vendor, or a office clerk, a gas station worker, an unemployed mother on welfare. Right? So these are the realities of many young Barbadians right now. And the chances of them succeeding, right? And the chances of them succeeding are significantly lower, and they're being made worse every day with the further disruption of schools, with inadequate resources being targeted to keep family structure in place and to keep them going on the trip. Just look at the breakdown of society in terms of the amount of young people doing murder and feeling comfortable going to jail. That was not a feature of Barbadian society even 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So something has changed to cause what we're saying now. And my, surface level explanation that I would have provided just now in my estimation contribute to where we are right now.
Yeah, fair, fair, fair. I can pose a question to you. Now, do you think we are being too idealistic in the expectation that the average Bajan would have access to these same tools, mentorship, support, strong family structure. Is that an idealistic view, or is it reality based on where society is headed, where we now place our values? Whereas before, everybody would have went to grandmother house on Sundays. Regardless of what class you is in the family, we know everybody can meet on Sunday. Everybody get a plate of food and get a cup of barley. Everybody can get to sit down and reason with each other. Whereas no, people don't cook food. No one is sitting down in a circle and breaking bread. Everybody going to the supermarket. Everybody going to Chafet, even on Sundays. So that breakdown in the collective raising of the peoples in Barbados, I think is an effect. But I would like to hear if you think we're being too idealistic in
But,
in the expectation,
well,
or
no,
is it systematic? Is this planned? Is this planned? Is this
like,
strategic? Or is this just the progression of society?
I want to quote from Living Black in Barbados to answer your question, or part of your question.
Hmm.
Randall argues that living black in Barbados gives an account of life from the perspective of a black person living in a society which, despite its ongoing attempts to deliver itself from the endemic pangs of slavery, finds itself still influenced by the many evils perpetuated in its slave environment. The capture of political power by blacks and the changing economy and society are placed on the microscope, and the author observed a situation in which stress occasioned by social and economic challenges has contributed to an environment in which individualism, sectionalism, cliquism, and confrontation threatens the cohesion which is so necessary for any society to thrive. Quite appropriately, the article offers recommendations for the black population to fully actualize itself, while it pursues a kingdom of meritocracy in which every boy and girl, no matter where they may come from, no matter the color or shade of their skin, can confidently pursue positions of great service through hard work, skill, and dedication. That is Randall's contribution. And I firmly agree with Randall's contribution. Now, my addition to Randall's contribution is that we have the collective or the idea of the collective raising of children of Barbados. So, regardless of if you were born in St. Philip, Blackwell, Pickens, Puckerings, Greer, Bathsheba, each parent held a particular standard that they wanted their child to aspire to. And y'all guys could tell me the standard that almost every Asian parent had. You better go to school and learn.
Yeah.
You better go to school and learn. I don't want my child to be no fool. Hey, we all got lit for not wanting to read, to write. Hey, mothers invest heavily, right? Heavily, a lot. Like, you hear the word I use, mothers invest heavily a lot in terms of the hands-on enforcement of education into every Asian child's mind. Not that every child took the education, you know, but every mother. You can never introduce me to a Asian mother who would tell a child, ah, what's cool, you're interested in this school. No, you will never hear that from the average Asian mother. You always say, I always encourage my child to go to school and learn. Like, they didn't say, but UV and BCC and all that. They say, let's go to school. They do primary school, at least get to secondary school. When you get 16 years old, once you finish school, right, then the average Asian parent thinks, well, at least I did my job. You're done school now. You're on your own. Go there and look for a job, even if it's a supermarket job. Because I did my part. I stayed in school for 16 years. No, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, right?
No, you're wrong at all.
No,
Lash is sharing. Lash
yeah,
is sharing for if you don't
yeah,
want to read, man. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's still
you
getting
got it.
paid, but it was an enforcement or an understanding that education is the key. And I dare to say majority of those parents, mothers or fathers in that time weren't necessarily educated themselves. So it was a push to be like, well, I didn't do it, so my child can't come and walk the same walk that I walk. You have to now come and take it a step further. Now, we can acknowledge that we know now in today's age that just sending school a child to learn is not enough. You know, there needs to be more surrounding
Yeah,
support. There needs to be mentorship. There needs to be specific circles to help cultivate and push that type of mindset. But at least they did, you know, they can rest easy knowing that, well, I at least get you on that path. I'm hoping and praying that you could now acknowledge as an educated person that you can now seek and find those things now to support and add to whatever you've been given initially.
yeah.
So I agree with you. Ramon, what you got to say?
Well, I can always get another little view here. All right. So, what would you say to a person, a young person, right? I've met lots of them, right? Lots of them. Um, the person would have gone to school. They would have gone up to a master, gone to school to learn. They would have gotten up to a master's degree, and they would have gone to HR specialists to help, obviously, create their curriculum vitae, their application letter, etc., etc. They would have applied to some obviously some jobs and so forth. The jobs obviously required the same qualifications that they would have acquired, they would have obtained, right? And mind you, the CV is on point, and they're yet to at least receive an email or a call. Not even to say, what, we have no vacancies available, etc., etc. Right? Somebody, and that can definitely dishearten a young person, right? So we go to school. Obviously, the teachers tell you this: the school learn, or your mother, your father, the school learn, and they make it seem this way: the school learn, get a house. No, the school learn, get a job, you get a house, you get a car. They make it seem that simple, right? But that is not the reality. That is not the reality at all, right? So, I mean, what do you guys say about someone like that or a situation like that?
Well,
Go ahead, Kemar.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of the. I mean, we can't baby people, right? What they don't want us to do is to give ourselves false hope that the world owes us
Yeah, that's the
anything,
thing. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
that things are already made, put there for us to just come and, for take it. There are people who went to school years before us, right? Who've been at this thing for a while, still not successful.
Yeah,
They try and try and try. But we need to also remember that we live in a system, and not everybody will be successful in that system. That's not how it is made to function, right? Um, Obviously, uh, depending on how, I don't want to use the word educated, so I use the word schooled. Depending on how schooled you are, you could better navigate the system so that problems like what your friend has, an ability to find a job, um, somebody else of a similar age or similar degrees don't even have to send any application.
yeah,
They're given a telephone call and told they'll report to work on Monday and we're giving you a blank check to put your salary in it. Right? So we would then clap and reward the person who's able to call that shot. But then we would scorn the person who cannot get through and say that, oh, and we would articulate article reasons around that. But the fact remains as well, Ramon, that let's be frank. There has not been any major increase in jobs in Barbados.
That's true.
There's not any mega corporations like that will offer 400 jobs on the truck, high paying jobs on the truck. And the majority of opportunities that are being opened in Barbados is hotel opportunities, right? Hotel opportunities, right? You see one or two manufacturing plants popping up here, popping up there, but as it relates to life-changing economic opportunities, even our prime minister is encouraging Barbadians to think global, right? To think outside of these shores for opportunity, right? To think how could you work from remotely and earn money, right? Because Barbados, I mean, in the day of information, can Barbados realistically satisfy the appetite of the population that is growing right now? Right? The police force is campaigning for a shortage of men. The defense force is campaigning for a shortage of men. But still, there are many people in Barbados crying out for jobs, right? So there are certain jobs, but the population definitely not interested. I won't take the jobs. So my point to you here now, Lamar, right, is that whoever governs society must also satisfy the needs of the people, being able to predict what some of those needs may be and plan for them. Right? So you know that people want work, but the work that's available, people definitely not interested in that. Right? What then do you do? What then happens? Right? So then there's serious ripple effect going through more. Hence the reason they keep drilling it in their head all of the time. Do not rely on Barbados to be, the dream path for you. If you could get an opportunity in a much larger economy and, do remittances, or, that's good, that's fine. But based on I would say the aspirations that the average educated person, the master level student, the bachelor student, even the average entrepreneur has dreams of being a millionaire. Understand? So how could you become a billionaire? I don't listen how could, but the chances of you achieving that goal of being a billionaire, by just being in Barbados, by working, it just won't happen no more. Right? So with the changing of people, with the changing of society, right, with the changing of the appetites of the people who live in that society, then the people who govern have to find ways to satisfy the appetite of those people. Otherwise, we will get a serious breakdown where people lost all of the trust they have in the system to provide for them, and then they will resort to other measures to satisfy their Maslow hierarchy and needs.
But I got to ask kind of two questions. Probably two questions. Now, when you encourage people obviously to step outside and look for opportunities, uh, wouldn't you create a further brain drain? That's the first question, right? And the second question, my thing is, do we make it? Maybe don't make it mandatory to obviously remit. So I mean, that doesn't then put more pressure on the economy when you allow people when the brain drain becomes a way where, well, to a point where you aren't getting no remittances at all. That's the question I ask. If you continue to encourage people to step outside, I believe that it will further the brain drain issue that Barbados has. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, but if you have, let's check it out. Let's make it practical.
Mhm.
The chances of you leaving, the chance of you leaving Barbados uneducated and unskilled is very slim,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have a skill,
Mhm.
or you have to have an education. Now, there's an excess of persons leaving UWI every year, joining the unemployment line. can't find work, can't find jobs. So the unemployed and the idle, right? So for a person who's unemployed and idle, you're not being engaged, so you're not contributing to any positive, you know.
Mhm.
So it's not a loss, in my opinion. It can't be drained because you're not being used.
Mhm.
And it was a situation where the person or the persons were being taken away and
Mhm.
taken out of jobs, critical jobs in Barbados. And we needed those persons, and the persons were leaving, contributing to a serious shortage, like the nurses,
Mhm.
right? Like the nurses. Then I would seriously say that that is a problem. But if we have a series, if we have some of our lawyers who study law leaving Barbados, that's not a loss. Barbados has too many lawyers. If we have some accountants leaving, that's not a loss. Barbados has too many accountants for the small size that we have, and therefore your ability to earn a substantial income, Ramon, is seriously diminished. And I would rather you go and set up shop overseas, and try to earn foreign exchange and do remittances and repatriation back to Barbados.
Another question I asked, there was a call to grow the population. I mean, how is that possible? We're asking for the growth of the population when the resources are diminishing the nanosecond by that nanosecond. That's the question. Another question I got asked as well.
Well, the growth of the population, they're asking that because they want more persons unwilling to pay taxes to contribute to the
Yeah,
massive debt
yeah, yeah,
that we have. So that's the gist of it.
yeah.
Now, we say that Barbados has a population problem, but if you look at the amount of traffic on the road, the amount of cars on the road, the amount of houses popping up,
Yeah.
it don't look like a population problem to me. It just looks like a mismanaged or situations that were engineered to the point where the people in power um, don't know how to fix it. So they just leave it like that, you know. So yeah, that's my
Okay, okay, okay. Good point.
I think my alternate view in this specific topic is that society as it is presently is for the radicals, is for the outliers, and is for those who go against the grain. No longer is it a viable option to go to school, get your master's, you know, you get a government job, pursue those standard ways of living that used to work. Now, there are many spaces and places on the island that you could look and you see you. This could be a money maker, But it takes that type of individual to look at the landscape and provide what is needed versus looking for what it is they want. If you take a stance of, well, what's needed, I know the last time I was home, there was rain, bounty for rain, bounty for rain. Everywhere I look, grass grow tall. Every time I saw you, I was by walking on. I got work, But people may look at that as a less than type of a less than glorious type of job, but it's a job nonetheless, and a job that is needed. Like there would be no barriers for you to enter that field to make money, right? Um, I just think there needs to be a push for that type of education, for that type of awareness amongst the youth to now start to think outside of the box, because clearly the standard or the average way of how you were supposed to make it and make a living and start a family, um, that isn't working anymore. There's a song, an old folk song that I remember here now. Monday morning, me go look for what? Tuesday morning, me go look for what? You know what they say? Master send no work today. So you cannot rely on somebody to offer you anything anymore. You have to step outside and say, you know what, man, I got to eat a food. And I want to stay on the upward path. I want to be righteous and way pursuing. So there are ways. But I don't think that type of mentality has hit the populace of Barbados as yet. They're still reacting to an old system of living. That's my alternative view. I don't know
No,
how you guys feel
I
about that.
glad you. I sorry. I'm glad you mentioned Nigel. I glad you mentioned jobs and some people not wanting a particular job, right, etc. That's how. That's how again how we are socialized. Some jobs are frowned upon in a serious way, right? And I believe that comes from like, sometimes social media. Uh, you know what the pressure from at home. All types of areas, even at school. Doctor, lawyer. You know, and again, this must not be misconstrued as me knocking on any type of job at all, right? Or any type of profession. I'm just saying, I'm just being general that certain jobs are frowned upon. So you mentioned the grass and so forth. A youngster cutting grass and things, he can, he frames a path because on social media now, they're seeing, people, living the rock star life. You know, that boy don't go on social media and prompts about and say, what, I'm a landscaper. You understand? So again, is a level of influence as well too, right? And certain jobs are frowned upon. Still, although as I mentioned, the guy who was dirty from head to toe with mud, or the guy who was dirty because of concrete, you know, he is looked upon and scoffed at. But he got all these zeros behind the ones, all them zeros. So, I think that is a level of how we were socialized, um, how we are influenced as well too as a people, right? Yeah.
The average landscaper 10 years ago, 20 years ago was able to provide for a household. Maybe he definitely got a wife or a woman or common law wife, as we entered earlier. He was able to support himself and send school one or two children. What is there about that is to be shamed or frowned upon? I think we have to look at what is what is the standard that people are looking at as good and righteous or adequate. I think that has to be challenged because clearly there's a gap between what people are looking at as a viable option for sustaining life and progression, building family, etc., etc. The average tradesman was able to do the same. We're talking about carpenters, we're talking about masons, we're talking about these trades people. That's the underbelly. That's the real underbelly of Barbados, not the high class person that can sit on an office. You know what I mean? Not to say anything is wrong with that, but that is not the average. Where have we went wrong, or what has now entered the system of Barbados that those are no longer viable options? Even pursuing the police force. You said people don't want to be police anymore. People don't want to be a part of the Barbados Defense Force. What is it that is really influencing the minds of the youth that is no longer something that they can pursue or care to pursue? What's is going on?
Right. Well, this I can't pinpoint exactly what entered Barbados, right? But I have to give my alternative. No, I can just say, I mean, choose my words carefully. I just want to say, I think we were not. I think we were misguided in terms of how we were educated. Right? Remember when Joshua was on the show, he indicated that majority of the regional governments that took independence during those periods, right? Barbados in the 1960s, and some other Caribbean countries who did the same thing. There was the pact in place where majority of the black population of the country entered into civil service, a government job, government worker, right? Now with the expansion of the state, you have the expansion of welfare as well. So you have people given state assistance. Obviously, they can be working. There are people who are actually working for the state. Um, and then there are some very restrictive laws in place on the public servant in terms of dual income. You really supposed to be a public servant and having in certain jobs and having other income, right? So your incomes were cut and were limited. So you were educating people through the public school system, primary, secondary, the CCV, and you're giving them jobs in an economy measure of either you go to the public service and get government job, or you check the private sector and you try to get through the private sector. I keep using the word job, work. We educated people for work. We educated people for jobs, right? Let's look at other systems around the world. Barbados does not have productive sectors where we take our people and put them into. We don't have oil, right? We don't have a viable agriculture sector. We don't have forestry, right? We don't have minerals, those type of industries that are productive industries, right? That you could produce excess to sell. We are actually putting people in place to do paper pushing, right? Intellectual work, work that's not very hands-on or productive, right? So our earning capacity, in my opinion, was diminished because of the way how we educated people. We educated an intellectual society. So you tell me, Joe, that our mothers and fathers didn't necessarily have the education that we have. Like a lot of them went up to secondary school and they probably didn't go any further. And they say that their children have to go all the way to. So the intellectuals who have that education are now the ones who we have to cater for, who are now the ones we have to deal with, who are now the ones who are trying to get in the public service, the private sector, who are now the ones who are hitting the world related about I don't do a shot on me. I don't have to go seek entrepreneurship and create an opportunity because there is no stable work, Mitchell. There is no intellectual work available in the corporations, right? Remember, in the corporations, which have very limited earning capacity through the paid skills. Right? So even if you go work, you still don't earn enough at work to start a business on the side and be able to scale it. Right? You go work, if you get paid today, today is what? Thursday? You broke by Monday.
You gain a long time, Kemar. You gain a real long time, buddy. A real long time. By
I,
Monday, you mean you mean by Sunday.
I,
Or the same day. Or the
all
same
right.
day, man. Or the
I
same
think
day.
right, there's no way that you could go and get interest-free loan to help substantiate, right? Because again, there are rules in place, organizational rules, labor rules in place, which restrict a lot of people who have jobs from being able to get income to the job because really see the time you get home with tired ninjas. So you can't really focus, you can't really do, you can't, And lastly, people become ingenious under pressure, serious pressure. I don't think Barbadians are to the point yet where the pressure has really burst, that they're feeling totally discomfort, where that hand, right, where that hand, that safety net is moved from out under the average Barbadian. Right? That safety net is still there.
You don't
So
think so?
the average Barbadian could still get healthcare.
Mm.
The average Barbadian could still go to school, primary free, secondary school free. You may pay some petty fees and stuff, but still free, right? But the housing thing, I don't know so much, right? You don't have to pay tolls to drive on the road. You still have access to the beaches to a point. They're not all totally private, right? We still have the opportunity to own some land in terms of ownership, right? But in Jamaica, which is short next door, Niger, you have to pay to go to school, right? You have to pay for healthcare in certain Caribbean hospitals. Right? You have to pay tolls to drive on roads, right? So,
You made me. Go on, go on.
right, right. I get one quick. So the point is the safety net is being removed slowly, right? So people mothers still get welfare in Barbados, right? Disability benefit, we still get pension and national insurance, unemployment benefit, right? So all of these benefits are still, although they're being, reduced, systematically reduced, or whatever. What is still there at the time, and in many other Caribbean countries, these things do not exist whatsoever. When and if and when Barbadians wake up and when the pressure bursts and these things are pulled from other Barbadians will no longer have it. Right? Like what happened in Jamaica, Guyana, and Trinidad, who all went through IMF programs. Right? We are at the beginner stages of the net being pulled from all others, but it's coming like slow, sure, because there's still that thing called political power, where the administration has to maintain the confidence of the people to get another term. Right? So when a government wants to get tyrannical, or it has some very serious things to do, right? Like to remove and cut pension, like to charging for health care, like exactly what the IMF prescribes, right? Then the government would go on force bills through parliament. Then the government would deploy the army to contain the population. Then the government would start spying on its citizens to try to cut the same, right? Then you would try to maintain imbalances of power in parliament, like having all of the seats in parliament twice. And you start to see the emergence of a dictatorship where you have to suppress dissent because you're making a drastic change which disadvantages majority of the population, taking away those comforts and telling the people no in an already struggling society that they have to pay now for these things which were once provided by the state for free. Yeah.
Mm. So the writing is on the wall, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the paint. So and the paint.
Okay. So you
And
can
the
see it
paint.
for sure.
And the
In the
paint, boy.
guessing.
A particular color and the paint. But
Okay.
I think Kemar, if possible, right? I know we had some viewers. I don't know if they would have made some comments and so forth. We can take some comments. It's now 8:26. I know we get carried away and we love the conversations, but the viewers are the people who make it happen. So let me just take the comments and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, this is season 2 finale. This is our last episode for the year. So, we could, I know the viewers are loving this conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I just curious to find out what it's saying, So you're right, gas station, all of it. Light note.
Yeah.
Send to you,
Well,
Patrick.
thanks you guys ask for the comments. You guys could go ahead and
Are we gonna do one after the other, Nigel?
All right, you go. You go
All
first.
right,
You
good.
good.
Patrick Designs, season greetings, Kemar and guests. Wishing you all a Merry Xmas and a prosperous New Year and blessings as we strive for peace and truth in all things. Bless and love to you,
Praise that,
Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah, man. Let me
Let,
start. Okay,
let,
you go ahead. Sorry. We're doing
let
one
me
after
tell
that.
a regular here. Good
That's true.
night, season's greeting to all. Big yourself, my
Season
boy.
greetings, Samuel. Me know. Vihoy. Good evening, Stuart.
and oh, that's true.
Yeah,
I have.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Easy
Easy.
D,
Oh, that's good.
welcome, Kemar, Ramon, and Nigel, and good night to everyone.
All
Welcome, Easy
right.
D. Thank you for being here.
Marcia, good evening, Ramon and Nigel. Good to see you both. Merry Christmas and all alternate viewers. Good night to you, Marcia. Pleasure as usual.
Wendy Ford Griffith. Good night, all. Good night, Wendy.
Good night, Randy. Easy D. I have a theory. If hell actually exists, it will be freezing and hot. Believe me.
You said I'm not hot.
And not hot.
Uh,
Okay.
uh, Nigel Newton. Good night, Kemar, Ramon, and Nigel. Great to be with you again. Great to
Good
have
night,
you,
Nigel.
Nigel.
Good night, Nigel. Easy D. The memory of colonialism. A horrible past, he said.
Nigel Newton. Kemar, Ramon, and Nigel. Given the inordinate sale of Barbados's limited land resources to foreigners, how do you think that sale would affect living black in Barbados?
You know how it's
Well,
affecting the prices.
well, we discussing that. We
Sky,
discussing that as it
skyrocket,
is right now. That's the
skyrocket,
conversation that we having for sure.
skyrocket, man. Skyrocket.
Mhm.
Yeah. The average. I mean, and Ramon, we could see this. We actually spoke this week about a real estate transaction.
Yes.
A lady she didn't have 300,000, she had close to 300,000, and you were struggling to find a proper house on the land, a nice 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom house for that money, right? You found good land, but to get a proper, remember we showed the picture of the wall house versus the chattel house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
$300,000 Barbados to get you a chattel house in this day and age. But a modern wall structure, 300,000 solid, you know, brand new. No, and that's very unfortunate. Our mothers and fathers, they lived in each other's house. Then they graduated, sorry, to board houses. Remember, a lot of board houses went up across Barbados.
It's true.
Then they went from board houses. We had like the unit houses, like playing housing units, playing Hinsville, Kensington, Lodge, the different housing areas, out St. Matthias, so you had that style of housing, which and then our mothers and fathers graduated from the board house to setting up a foundation outside and putting down $1,000, buying some blocks, they started here, and over a 20-year, 30-year period, they now have some big wall bungalows that they paid for cash. But the average house nowadays, you have to go and get a big mortgage just for a 3 bedroom, nice modern wall
How many
finish.
years now? It's 30. It's how many 30 years? How many years is it? Uh, dependent. How many years is it, Kimar? 30 years or something, huh?
That what?
In terms of the mortgage term.
Yeah, 30 years basically.
30 years. Correct.
Payments.
I'm correct. Oof.
Yeah, but a lot of our parents, their food is out of pocket.
Hmm.
They were patient. They took the time. A block here, a block there, when they here. But our people nowadays want ready then, fast then. So they're gonna borrow the money because they're too shame. You know, they're too shame to live in the unfinished house. We're debt free by the way, but we rather go in debt. You know,
There's
uh,
too much people.
yeah, yeah,
It reminds me of it reminds me of a society. Kimar. Anyhow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take
Anyhow.
some more.
Yeah. Anyhow. Let me go. All right.
You rule.
Joanne, Faye. Good night, everyone. Good night, Joanne. Good night.
Vihoy says, of course, some don't like where we are. For sure.
Nigel Newton, we need to enact an alien land holding act.
Mm.
That would be to say that foreigners can't own land in Barbados.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and that was passed in Barbados during the 1990s period. This was, and I'm glad we know about other things, but this was during the oil after period. Um, this bill called the ADB Investment Sector Bill for music chop change work with 30 something million dollars would have unlocked what they call different investment sectors in Barbados. So this bill then allowed non-nationals in a very serious way to come in and build multi-million dollar estates and mansions on prime agricultural lands. Right? So remember when you had during the or after period the emergence of the West Coast, you know, emergence of the South Coast. You had these big fancy estates coming on stream, Westmoreland, and the upgrades of Sandy Lane, the expansion of Sandy Lane, and these big, multi-million dollar estates built on agricultural plantations, right? So that bill then allowed these non-nationals to come in, wealthy people by the way, right? Buy up your thing, set these properties on there. Barbadians got working on the estates as butlers, bartenders, maids, bar stops, drivers, caddies, that type of work in the hospitality industry. And that is basically how we ended up with a situation where you see these big estates, these big properties on prime spots around Barbados through that bill. Now, far back in history, that particular bill was placed in front of two prime ministers previously. Prime Minister, it was Minister of Finance at the time, which was David Thompson, and it was also placed in front of the former Prime Minister, Sir Lloyd Sandiford. Right? And they both rejected the bill outright, saying that the bill was a threat to the future of Barbadians owning some of the best lands. And we can now see, and we can now see in 2024 what wisdom they had in not doing it. But in short term, Mr. Arthur reversed that and he signed it. Right? So what Mr. Newton is suggesting now is to say, well, you know, for the way you have so far, okay. But for the other prime spots of real estate in Barbados, those should be reserved for us, right? You should not be able to come here as a non-national and own property. Maybe you can lease it, right? But you should be able to own outright own land in Canada. What do you guys think about that?
But we gone global now, so for sure I don't there won't be any reversal there. I can tell you that. We gone global because of you know yeah we gone global. So I don't see that happening. I don't see that being redacted at all. So yeah. Anyway, on with the comments.
Yeah, Major, any comment from you?
Uh, I, I I can reserve my opinion on that one. I agree with you though. I think you got to deal with your people first. You have to deal with your people first,
More drum,
and
more drum.
don't just beat loud and strong. If the people, if you don't have confidence in your people, it's looking like you won't invest in your people, and the people that are not being invested in can't produce. It's very difficult for a man that for anybody that isn't being invested in, whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, economically. It's very difficult to create nothing out of nothing. You know, the person that would be able to do that is few and far between. You know, so
No.
I think we
The,
got to deal with
the,
people.
the funny the funny thing about it is right. Sorry, Kimar. The funny thing about the tourist, we talk about tourism. We're making that our major sector, right? We talk about tourism, etc. The tourists they come here to see. They want to see the flora and the fauna though. They want to see the canes. They want to see. So it's all about balance. Yes, you want some foreign exchange, etc., etc. But it's really imbalanced right now, to be honest with you, right? That's the truth, right? And look at the prices of land. When I had a conversation with Kimar, wait, in my mind, I was talking to Kimar, but I wasn't really, I could not believe it. I had to ask myself, well, Kimar is a madman. Why? I can't believe this madness. No, and it's ridiculous. I mean, we hear smiling and thing, but boy, down the road, if we continue down this road at all, boy, let me tell you something, boy.
Right, right.
It's madness.
So
Anyhow,
you're correct. Every 300,000 cannot get you a proper house and land and war structure in Barbados in 2024 as a Barbadian. Imagine house and land prices in 10 years. In 10 years, I'm only going to be 40. So imagine at 40, I cannot afford a house and land in Barbados.
My son said, "No what to there." You know what's going on, boy.
or you go the long road, but you got to stick in that job. Something you might be stressed out with that in that place of business, but you got to stick in there, boy. I got to pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
I got to pay my mortgage. And
But
that then a domino effect. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated, angry, and then it goes down the road, right? But again, not an excuse for violence, not an excuse for crime, but these are a lot of the things that affect people in a serious way, right?
yeah,
Well,
well,
cause and effect, man.
Yeah.
I have I want to move past this point, but I just want to make a quick, based off an idea that came to me. We had a sugar-based economy in Barbados, right? Where we produce sugar and export it. So we got rid of sugar for a more services-based economy, right? So financial services, um, hospitality services, again, more intellectually based services. But you cannot overproduce service, right? You cannot overproduce service, but you could overproduce sugar. You could have an excess of sugar that you could go there and sell if you want excess money. But if you have a service-based economy, you sell services. So it is not every day that somebody will want your service per se, right? But in a productive point where you have like shelf life and other things, you could play a little bit with the price. So I think that we've lost our power as it relates to the micro side of our economy. That we've completely taken ourselves out of the goods, the manufactured goods and the sale of goods and retail, and we are more into the services based offerings in Barbados. And I think that those services, how it is right now is very unstable, and the ability for you to get a stable job, stable income, um, and have the ability to own a piece of the raw as Mr. Newton wants, that's being diminished. So next question, easy D. I can read this one. Mine. I have been watching the political theater in the Senate, the finger pointing just to score political points, an old British colonial system left behind, which we still use. ECD has a preference for like a dictatorship, more style of government, a one-party state. He doesn't believe in a two-party democracy. You guys could go ahead and take the others.
Vihoy, our healthcare suck. Food expensive. There are not many resources, and the people are in deep dire straits with government debt.
Easy D. You don't need a PhD to figure out that a united, all inclusive, one party system will bring greater prosperity to Barbados instead of all this political theater and incompetence. Alternate views booming. Vihoy says a one-party system, so we can have a dictatorship rule. Okay. Alternate views booming. Thank you for your alternate view, Easy D.
All right. Again, debate in the comment section to a certain extent. Debate in the
Hey,
comments. I
hold.
love it. I love it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
God says we've
Yeah.
become less focused. Life's luxuries has made people less careful and too comfortable. I agree. 110%. Vihoy says Barbados was more about colorism, regardless of class. Though class mattered, color was super important. That is a social construct. Easy D says a class system arrives through capitalism without a proper socialist support mechanism to aid the less well off. Right. God says our minds have become filled with stupidity and we fight each other for stupid reasons, and the ones that are oppressing us are allowed to do as they like. Okay. Nigel Newton. The focus is providing young black men with weed whackers to be street cleaners. The commanding heights of the economy are reserved for white people and Indians. Alternate views booming. Easy D says, I agree, Ramon, with some of what you're saying, but it's not down to just one individual. We want a functioning system. Ramon, this system is dysfunctional and need replacing. Well, if it's, he said dictatorship, but that's one individual, ain't it?
Yeah. Well. 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 hmm,
Yeah.
I have a very
Ronald
interesting view.
Rooks.
But well, I mean, we got 30 seats anyhow. Anyhow,
Ronald Rooks. Good
everything
night,
been.
Kemar and friends. Good night, Ronald. Easy D, Kemar. I must admit, a white PM in Barbados, although I am not prejudiced, I will not like to see it. That's my truth. Alternative views booming. Thank you for sharing, Easy D. Kemar, the poor, uneducated black Barbadians built Barbados and made it the gem of the Caribbean Sea. That is true. Marvin Marius, good evening. Good evening, Marvin. Alice Maria, I agree with Nigel. Basic, our values have changed. Clearly. Nigel Newton, given the sacrifice of our grandparents, our present lived experience is our unfortunate and abominable. Yeah. Tamika Harper, good night. Good night, Tamika. Peter King, regular on the show. Good afternoon, Barbados. Good afternoon, Peter.
Yeah, Peter King.
Sterling Clark, well done, young men, hosts, and guests. Keep the flag of positivity flying high.
Thanks, Sterling.
For sure.
Young lady, Sterling.
For sure. Tamika Harper, Nigel is so right. The parents wanted more for their children. They knew education would give their children better opportunities to get away from the hardship the parents had. Alice Maria, why are we not creating jobs for ourselves? We are looking for someone to provide a job for us. Agreed. Pedro Jamon, greetings. Greetings, Pedro. Romeo Hinkson, good night. Good night, Romeo. Tamika Harper says, I believe everyone can fit somewhere. They just need opportunities and connections to each other. It's not what you know, it is who you know. But spin that in a positive way. Fair enough. Patrick Designs. Government used to work with the private sector and give them grants to provide internships for the youth. We need to implement these systems back after this government party destroyed them. Okay, providing exposure. Peter King, Bajan bully encouraging Bajans to go find work overseas while she is selling the raw piece by piece to her friends and the highest bidder.
Oh boy.
Tamika Harper, you think that there would have been incentives given for companies, factories, or some sort of manufacturing of something. Tourism being the main industry isn't good, for sure. Standing up on one leg. If the highly educated people can't get jobs, then whole thing's looking for people without degrees and such. People will start doing quote unquote whatever to get by.
How things looking? I think I explained how things looking. And we seeing it all around us. How things looking.
For sure, for
Tamika,
sure.
thanks. Yeah.
Shirley Clark, correct, Nigel Franklyn. This is the time for ingenuity to prosper. The hard times bring hope, ironically. Pedro Gemo, name a country we can model, or you just saying it without thought. No, that them going back and forth, Pedro and Easy D there. Them having a tough conversation.
Mm.
Tamika Harper, people would prefer to work as a bank teller than working in agriculture. We were always conditioned to go for the top positions. Anything else is undesirable, but we still need one. Sean Poole, that social media life is a fake life. Perception versus reality, Sean. Let me tell. Many people in my age group were able to go to school because their parents sold nuts, sweets, sugar cakes, and coconut bread, or had a small shop. They were also able to build decent houses. That is true. That is true. English Maria, if you are an intellectual, you should have the capacity to be creative.
This is
Um,
all from
That's an interesting perspective.
This is
mm,
from,
yeah,
I
that is
find like
true. I,
average mark
I,
spell. I feel like average mark is spelled, but you can't build it.
it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. And for me, obviously, there are people who they have to learn everything, right? But creatives, a little different, right? But the people who can learn, the people who can, ingest and regurgitate,
For
but
sure.
creatives are different, man. Yeah.
Mm,
So I disagree with that slightly.
mm. I mean, I tell you, we didn't have free education in those days. The days he's speaking about when parents were selling nuts and sweet cakes and had these shops. That is true. Mimat 2017. If you want proper healthcare in Barbados, you have to pay a Kemar. The net is dropping into holes. Okay. Patrick Designs. The direction Barbados needs to implement going forward is to technology development. Develop our apps, devices, and software. Do we need a foreign entity to come and reap those benefits? Interesting view. Interesting view.
Well,
Look
this
like
is
you
the thing
got
in
something
the
to say,
world,
Kimo.
but yeah, it's got to the point that people don't need to leave the countries anymore to really benefit from yours. Um, right now, the Amazon collects taxes on behalf of the government of Barbados every time a Barbadian buys something online. So Amazon receives millions or billions of dollars of Barbadians money. And where the Amazon comes, and where our people went to Amazon,
Mm,
right? So the world is so open now, right? That it's no longer domestic Barbados, you know, just there away from all the other Caribbean islands. And we know Barbados on the world map, on the world stage. Barbados is a small but global player. Every world leader in the world knows Barbados. Every person who follows any type of international politics knows Barbados will not be for the best reasons that we are now the IMF um, representative, basically, the new poster child. But the world is really, really open. We're actually past globalization. We're fully globalized. Um, it's just that other people, through poor planning and poor execution and poor policies, are not able to benefit from the act and the era of globalization.
Agree. Milius Lewis. I think that was supposed to be Asher to all in the house. Greetings, greetings, Camillus. Let me tell, we are living in a fool's paradise. So once we get a fat and a greasy macaroni pie, we'll be good.
I don't make things. I
And
don't
the
get
wing
me. I
special.
don't make things, man.
Mona Lisa. If Barbados continues on this trajectory, people will start to sell out properties if they can and run to other countries. I see this coming, believe it or not. Of course, the haves will stay. Philip C. Good night. Enjoy the holidays. Next year will be rough. Good night, Philip. Maybe eat and be
I
merry.
hope not. I hope not.
Sensei King Herbalist. Nothing ain't wrong with eating sardines and biscuit, little tuna and eclipse. I don't disagree with you at all, man. But people want the Starbucks.
But I don't eat I don't eat sardines anymore, but I still eat tuna and I still eat biscuit. But living black in Barbados, I got a story to tell. Yeah, using Ramon's over there. I got a story to tell on this one. While I was at school, I spoke to a girl who, she was. I was asking her, what we used to eat at home, what was really just trying to get the, I don't know how to friend or whatever. And I was asking her some stuff, and I was like, maybe going to the supermarket, like you buy the tuna and corned beef, and you was looking at me strange, tuna, corned beef. So I was like, no, 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 sweetheart, we don't buy tin food at home. I was like, huh? No way. So I was like, no, we do not buy tin food at home. I was like, so what do you eat? Like, what? No, I don't understand. That was the first time I ever heard that. And well, like, and this was from a black girl. It was a black person. This person wasn't white or Indian or gray or anything. This person was black. And I am there dumbfounded, so lost because my experience and my reality. If I was not to eat same food, I'd probably be dead by now because hunger, right? That was at that stage of my life. I was in complete shock when she told me that because I was never expecting a black person to say that to me in Barbados, right? That they don't consume food at home. And my next question is, so what besides chicken, fish, pork, lamb, meat, um, you know, because the average Barbadian when they go to the supermarket, the first thing they're gonna grab for is tin food. Like so, anyway, fast forward in my life, now I now got a different understanding, perspective. I changed my life a lot. I started to heavily focus on my Adventist ideals, and I started to change up my diet and stuff. And I stopped eating food for a while, and then that's how my perspective changed because then I understood now, you know, from a health perspective, there are some food that I just should not consume. But that was from a health perspective. But she was speaking to me from a perspective of financially, food are beneath her. right? I was just shocked, honestly, fellas. I don't know if you ever experienced anything like that in Barbados.
Mm. I would say that that's a regular, you know what I mean? A roast breadfruit and a mackerel. These are common things, and affordable things. Though, as you said, to your credit, some of these tin foods aren't the healthiest options, but they provide some sort of sustainability to a man trying to eat a food. And until you get to those heights or in that educational space that you could differentiate between what is truly healthy and what just fill your belly, then you can't judge a man for that, but that's a very interesting point of view.
You can, but you shouldn't. All right. But to ramen. I don't know if you guys ever had ramen. Ramen and mac and cheese and the dinner. It is call it dinner. Call it now. Um dinner something. So mac and cheese dinners or something like that. Or
Hmm.
mac dinners or something like that. Anyhow. So yeah. So I those things. I think the tuna, the actual fish. Well, obviously you know that there's actual fish. The tuna, the steaks. Maybe that's what she ate. So she probably you when you asked her about tuna, she was probably thinking the actual tuna. The
Yeah, right.
steak.
The only tuna I ever saw in my life up until I was a big man was
Mm-hmm.
tuna in the can.
The tuna in the can. Mm, yeah.
Tuna in the can. So until I was a big adult, I
Yeah.
was almost shocked. I
Mm,
was almost shocked, like pass out kind of shocked
mm,
when I realized that tuna was an actual
yeah.
fish that you really. I was like, this was actually like,
Yeah. It's really
but
lovely. And so she
that's all.
probably did some salmon too. She was probably very aware of salmon. Very, very aware of salmon.
And,
That's a decent fish. Yeah, that's a decent fish.
and the,
Yeah,
tu- the tuna industry globally is actually a very big industry.
huge,
Tuna is
huge,
very expensive.
huge, huge,
Um,
huge, huge, huge.
if you're familiar with there's a show on National Geographic called Wicked Tuna,
Wicked
where
tuna
the men go out and catch the tuna, and you would be surprised as the price of these tuna fish that they catch.
because of the
Because
waters
tuna
they
is
tread,
always in high
very, very
demand
treacherous. The
for
waters
sure.
they tread very treacherous, and
And
they got
food,
something called deadliest catch. I don't know if you.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, man, yeah,
Hmm.
man. So,
Hmm.
so the ways of getting these things, treacherous. So, yeah. So, go. You can go ahead. Another comment there.
Um, sorry, I kind of spoke. Oh, I got it there.
Okay.
Okay. Adrian Bascom, greetings to my brothers. Merry Christmas to you guys, Kemar. Keep up the good work, Ramon and Nigel. Big
Bless the
yourself,
love,
Adrian.
Adrian. Bless the love all the time, Adrian.
Sean Cool. Kemar, people will go into debt to get convenience and to look rich. Unfortunately, that is true.
Keeping up with the
Perception
Joneses.
versus
Keeping up with the
perception
Joneses.
versus
Yeah,
reality.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Agreed. Let me tell. They would start off with a toilet and a bath, then go forward from there. When they were finished, they didn't owe anybody a penny.
Yeah,
That is true. That was long term thinking. People
yes.
don't think long term in these days. Pedro Jamon, straight
I,
thought, Ramon.
I can't remember what I said there, but whatever I said is genuine as usual. I don't know which one he commented on, but fair enough. Bless up.
Sincere King Herbalist. Young people won't own anything. You will own nothing and be happy. That would be an unfortunate reality. Tamika Harper. My godfather once said, don't go through the bank for a house. It will be like a noose around your neck. Alicia Franklin. Good night to one and all. Good night, Alicia Franklin. Big up all the Philippines.
Good
People
night,
are going to
Alicia.
say Philip
Good night for sure.
on the call. Adrian Bascom. Tourism is a failed sector. Loads of planes, but a lot of seats empty.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think
Very true,
this
Adrian.
season will probably be the peak season for people traveling. People traveling home and what's not. But outside of this season, yeah, pretty a lot of empty seats. Tamika Harper. I remember when people used to work 20 years at one job, then start hearing about contracts left, right, and center. That seems to be the new way.
No, that's a very good point, Tamika. We know why contracts are being given, huh? Employment at will. So you can be fired at any point in time, without certain repercussions. And we know
Mhm.
what that a lot of contracts, lots of contracts. Every younger person I hear, So how things going, man. I hear on a contract. I mean, it's like a fad now. It's like a
Yeah,
fad.
speaking of contracts, um, the young people of Barbados were promised that at least 20% of procurement contracts, government contracts, would go to young entrepreneurs and young startups. That was a manifesto promise. Another failed promise that we make promises to young people and we never uh, make good on those promises, either entrepreneurs, uh, young students, progressive students, employment seekers. We tend to do these things. Um, yeah, so we got to scroll through the comics, fellas. But there are quite a few, so we want to get through all that we could wrap up before 9:30 because um,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Heather O.M. Headley. Creatives function on the fly, for sure. Square four. Good night, Mr. Stewart. Square four, regular. Look at yourself, square four.
Big up for sure. Square four.
Heather O.M. Headley says Barbados is playing catch up in the tech world. Let's be realistic. Agreed. Globalization is here, as you said, Kimar.
I don't think we
Easy.
playing. We even playing. Unfortunately, they
We, we,
playing catch up. We ain't even playing, boy.
we ain't on board yet.
We ain't even playing, bro. We ain't even playing.
Easy D. Yes, Kimar, you're not wrong. Barbados is known worldwide. Correct. Correct. Pedro Jamon. Barbados was on the map world stage from slavery times. It was a slave port. Don't be fooled.
Mm. Interesting, Pedro.
Heather O.M. Headley says, Brother Kimar, we are part of a global system. We are not exempt from the vagaries of capitalist economies. Wake up time. Okay, Heather. All right. Okay, Tamika Harper. Creative brain process things a bit differently and take inspiration from everything. I may be a creative, but then I need other people to bring my ideas to fruition. We always need other people. That is true. It's
The
always a
orange, the
collective
orange
effort.
economy, Tamika. The orange economy.
Agreed. Agreed. Portrait designs, Pedro Gemma. Indeed, Barbados was always on the map and globally known. Otherwise, it would not have been designated as one of the popular vacation spots in the tourism industry. Agreed.
I beg to differ on this because and Major, you could correct me on this one. When you tell people in certain jurisdictions in America that you're from Barbados, the first thing they ask, which part of Jamaica is that?
That
Like,
is not that is true. That is true. That is very true. But I
and
do think in this day and age, it is less than what it was before, but
yeah,
that is still a thing. I think in the more European and African areas of the world, they would know Barbados because they're paying attention to global politics. But the average American only studying America,
right,
so that you will see that.
right. And on top of that, Barbados, Barbados's largest tourist markets are the US and the UK, and not necessarily that many jurisdictions outside in totality. If you look at the population that comes from South America into Barbados is not that high. Um, if we check Canada, is not as high as the others. Um, Even Africa, majority of the persons who come here from Africa come for work. Um, and the others come for business, not necessarily vacation. And you hardly have persons leaving the more eastern areas like Bali, Indonesia, the more touristy vacation spots that are substantially cheaper. You hardly have persons coming from that far out to come to expensive Barbados.
Mm.
Barbados was associated with British royalty, and the upper crust of British society felt comfortable as Barbados is their second home. So you had a larger English population frequenting Barbados as opposed to it being like a global worldwide thing per se.
Mm.
Yeah.
Square four. Good night, Mr. Goodman.
Good night, Square Four.
Lemuel Tell says we are not utilizing the skills of our people. Anybody remember who developed the first search engine? You
Alan
remember that one?
Emptage, Alan Emptage of Barbados, a white Barbadian, strange enough. Yeah, Emptage.
Okay. Okay. Square four. Good night, Mr. Franklin. Good night, Square four. Easy D. Know you are talking, Nigel. Real food. I guess he's talking about the breadfruit. You know, I don't think those are common things that people eat nowadays. Everybody want big up food. They want eating cassava, sweet potato, edges. I love a steamed food. That's my favorite meal. A steamed food and some saltfish, and they're good. Square four.
Yeah.
Good night to the families and friends of lifelong learning. Big up lifelong learning. We're all lifelong learners here.
Square Four, I love the fact that you're being formal with the names, but we family both here. Friends and family. So Nigel is fine, Ramon is fine, Kemar is fine. That's good to go. These family both here. I use come on the show regularly enough, you don't know. Straight. That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, I was just about to this point. Ramen
Mhm.
is causing.
Ramen noodles is causing heart attack problems in
What do
Barbados.
they call it now? They call it MSG. The
And the
MSG.
sodium and the
Yeah.
sodium levels in those type of foods are you should not be eating. That's nothing
You
you
got
should be
that
eating
right.
on a
You got
consistent
that right.
basis at
Those,
all.
those things. I don't know how many Barbadians know, right? But Barbados is one of the few places in the world that you could actually get confectionery snacks. And the type of snacks, the snacks that we give to little children,
Yeah.
like you push up, the rain pot, all these sweet snacks in it. Barbados is one of the few places in the world that you could openly get the variety of snacks.
That's true.
Um, Barbados actually supplies a lot of Caribbean countries with some of these snacks. No, snacks are not real food,
Mm-mm.
you know, they're not real food. But we have majority of the primary school children on snacks. Like they survive on snacks. So you get school meals and snacks. When you get home, it's more snacks. And it's my opinion that some of the snacks contributed to the hyperactivity, you know, and some of the excess sugar um, given to and I think that that's what's contributing to some of the learning problems that the younger children are having. As it relates to ramen, um, in my younger years I ate ramen, but as I got older, I watched a video with a guy from Antigua. It was a funny video with it, right? And he was this bastard. He was like, ramen, no, boy. Okay, my language. He said, but ramen to tickle your rear, right? No, it was comical, yes, when he said it. But when you do your research, ramen actually encourages the growth of worms in the gut,
Mm.
right? Worms in the gut. So the worms would then crawl through the rear as that's the exit. That is the exit point. So when he said that, I took a health moment, a learning moment from it. And anybody that I could persuade. I mean, as I just said, you're not necessarily eating for the best reasons, but you're eating for a belly full. And you know when hard times hit and when sometimes the ear hit and you're so hungry and ramen is the only thing in the cupboard,
Yeah.
you can eat the ramen, right? No, you do that until you could do better, but when you're doing better, I would encourage anybody that could do better to leave out your ramen, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we talk about, you mentioned a lot of the snacks and so forth, the confectionery snacks and so forth. Some people may argue, no, it's a condition, ADHD, but really and true is SUGARS, sugars, you know,
Goodness. Mm.
sugars, sugars, you know, sugars in a serious way. You children jumping off about the place and so forth. Some people, as I said, some people argue ADHD, but Kemar is saying to a certain extent is a lot of the confectionery snacks, a lot of the sugars that got everybody bolting off the walls. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. I hope in season 3 we could get a medical professional on to speak to the health crisis in Barbados. On a more clear level. I am not a medical professional, but as you do your own research, as we are lifelong learners, we find what is good and what is beneficial. And funny enough, the food palette of the past seems to be the best. And getting back again to these grown provisions, you understand? That's food. That is real food sustenance. Those labor workers, that's the type of food that they would have used even back in slavery days. That is what they were eating for that kind of sustenance.
Mm.
But
But there's another
it's
argument there. No, all the
not really.
pesticides. People will talk about the pesticides, the things they use to grow, especially
Mhm,
now, ensure that the vegetables, whatever the case may be, they grow a little faster. So
mhm,
again, there's a lot of arguments on each side, but
for sure.
I believe even so they're still healthier than a cotton candy or a tomato ball or whatever they sell nowadays, or cheesies,
Understand?
or zoomers or
Mhm.
whatever they sell.
Agree, agree. Tamika Harper says the tuna I know is in the can. Then I saw people on TV cooking tuna and searing it on both sides. No wanted cooking to me. Sincere King Herbalist. MTage created Archie, the first search engine. Okay, okay. I learned that today. Square 4. Good night to the families and friends of the Caribbean Progress Study Institute. A very Merry Christmas to you all. Square 4 don't left out nobody, man. Big itself, Square 4.
For sure.
Mhm. Anthony Carter, good night to Kemar and panelists. We need to use our mahogany, bamboo, coconut shells, branch, leather from blackbelly sheep to make high quality stuff. Those are resources that we have that we don't have to go outside for. Do we have the artisans to do it?
Well,
Mhm.
uh, let me say, Major, about your day. I was speaking to one of the Rasta elders very recently, probably yesterday. He reminded us that if you ask for breakfast, if you ask for breakfast in Jamaica, St.
Oh my
Lucia,
God. Yeah.
St. Vincent, you're gonna get grown
Yeah.
provisions for breakfast.
Yeah.
Green bananas, yams,
Mm.
stuff. You get, but if you ask for breakfast in Barbados, you can get bacon,
Yeah.
eggs,
Yeah.
Waffles, pancake.
Yeah.
cornflake,
Hmm.
So
right?
right. That was a culture shock when I went to Jamaica. Here we tell you, I went a place that's supposed to be selling breakfast. And they gone in there, no, they selling soup, coquille soup and all this for breakfast. So yeah, cause I was expecting the normal plantain and bacon and pancakes and all this. Not about here. Nah, we ain't dealing with that. Yeah. Cause he's a good thing. A good thing I look at it and say, you know what? Was this? I asked, was this? Cause he might want obviously he chased me on his story. But yeah, the man's got food or still like food. So
Yeah.
they eat proper food.
The adage, the adage of the statement by the elder is that Barbados cling to the old adages of slavery,
Yeah,
right? So that old style English breakfast,
Yeah.
your tea,
Continental breakfast.
the egg, yeah. So we continue to cater for that, for that system, and we keep our people on that diet,
of
right?
course.
Meanwhile, the other Caribbean countries stuck to their diet and it's still practiced today. So it shows you how Barbados is systematically and culturally different as compared to many of the islands through the Caribbean. And that simple example that the elder brought to my attention, and as somebody who worked in many hotels, I know that as a fact, right? That this really get. So
Mm. And
yeah,
we talk about culture, right? And this might be controversial. Now, I find that the people of the other Caribbean countries, right, in terms of their accent, right, they go overseas, they keep their accent, right. But for some reason, I find a lot of Barbadians we go overseas and so forth, and in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, our accent change. You're no more Barbadian. I mean, not all, right? Not all will do so, but I've seen a lot of times when you don't even understand what the person's saying. They come back to Barbados and you don't understand what they're saying because they've changed their accent. But I know a guy from Guyana, sorry. He was in Barbados now for nearly 30 years. And he still sounds like a Guyanese. He still sounds like somebody from Ghana. But it's how deep and strong our culture is. And I don't know if we're quite sure what our culture is, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
Agreed.
again, that might be controversial. Well, the viewers doing a thing. But that's my
Well,
view.
it is the truth. It is the truth. I think personally, I've experienced that living here in the US for 10 years.
Yeah.
When I first moved, I thought how I thought. What you say? Huh? What you say? But it speaks to someone who would say, no, this is how I thought. If you want
Yeah.
understand me, listen better.
Yeah.
But I do think it points to, as you said, what is your culture and how strong ingrained
Correct.
are those
Correct.
parts of ourselves.
How proud you are. How
How
proud you
proud
are as
of
well.
we
Of course,
are
how
how
proud.
we sung.
And we talk about
And
pride and industry, about how,
for
how
sure,
proud you are as a
for sure,
Barbadian,
for sure,
you know,
for
how proud you
sure.
are, how proud you are to wave that flag. And I think
Absolutely.
that you know, why
I
don't
have
think
an
we
alternative. I
go
have an
ahead?
alternative.
And the Bajan accent,
Mm,
conversely, is one of the most unique
mm,
throughout the islands.
mm,
But
Some is laugh at the Bajans and say we talk in cursive.
mm.
you know,
But
they
I,
say we
I
talk
think
in cursive.
I think Kimar said he has an alternate view. Go ahead.
Let me hear your view, Mr. Stewart.
as it relates to the accent
Go ahead.
in Barbados, again, we cling to our old colonial habits. So
Mm,
don't talk that way. Speak this way.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Don't let me hear you using those kind of words. Speaking that way, speaking and behaving like those people, right? Those are norms that we hear in society. And the
Yeah.
Beja aspect was frowned upon in the household growing up, right? And we aspire to speak the Queen's English as Barbarian,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And say that language is unparliamentary, and you have to speak proper English to be accepted. So while other countries embrace their broken English, right? Embrace their Bajan is not a language. Like English is a language, but we speak broken English with our own peculiar accent. Jamaicans speak English with their own broken Jamaican accent. But the average person, they will say, well, speak to me in Jamaican. Do you know any Jamaican? They're not saying, do you know any English? Like, this is speak to me in Jamaican. So I would say the more millennial younger Barbadian takes more pride in the vernacular, especially you see artists like Father Phyllis, who's making it big on the international scene. Whenever Rihanna uses the vernacular on the international stage, she's well accepted and loved. Like
Absolutely.
once or twice, the Barbadian Prime Minister used the Bajan vernacular, very well received. So it's only now, in my opinion, that Barbadians are becoming very proud of what you call talking bad. You talk bad, you speak bad. We are not becoming proud of that side of us. My alternative.
So
No.
agreed. That goes into the classism. That even goes back into classism. Because if you spoke a specific way, you were looked at and deemed as less than. But at least if you could speak, as they say, the Queen's English, you might present a little better. And for a long time they used to tell the artists that no Bajan can't make it on an international level talking like a Bajan. How proud it is like, when I hear actual Bajan artists singing and talking in the Bajan vernacular. It's made
Yeah.
me proud. It feels good, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the thing about it is that um, obviously it depends on how your age and the grasp you have with actually standard English. How well you grasp standard English as well too, right? Because you gotta find that you gotta turn it on and turn it off because you can't go right in it. You shouldn't go right in it, right? It won't be accepted, right? You shouldn't go right in it, right? And it won't be accepted, right? So you gotta still have that you gotta know when it's turn it on and turn it off, right? To turn it, yeah. Obviously you ain't gonna go on and write it, but in terms of speaking it, love to hear it. But to go writing it now, some people can't because some people can't separate that. Some people are unable to separate and know time and place and when and where, right? That's the only challenge with it. But um, love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Agree, agree.
Yeah.
Sir Alfred Benjamin says, "Season's greetings, viewers, Kimar and co-host. I've now arrived. Welcome, Sir Alfred Benjamin." Square four. Good night to alternate viewers from St. Kitts, Jamaica, Grenada, Antigua, Guyana, Trinidad, and Tobago, Bahamas. Greetings, all alternate viewers globally. Sam Ibo. I heard a minister from Grenada planning for the drought season next year to make sure farmers have enough water. Guess their minister have vision. Okay. Squared four. Again, good night to all alternate viewers and families from England, Ireland, Scotland. A very Merry Christmas to you all. But Squared four don't left out a boy. Make it yourself. Tamika Harper says to Easy D, my great grandfather worked for decades at the power plant. And then when he retired, he was gifted a lawn chair. That that has touched me. That has touched me. I don't think we really take care of our people that have given themselves to these industries and these spaces for 20 plus years. That's something that's supposed to be commended and cheered on, a lawn chair. Well, I would say Easy D, a lawn chair. That was awful. My grandfather was given a watch at his retirement. Fake good. Adriano, that's right, Kimar. That is not good for anyone. And the snacks and enough sweet drinks that I have even seen being sold at certain schools on the compound, that is just wrong. Supply and demand, unfortunately. Anthony Oliver, a special good night from NYC. Good night, Anthony. We got all the alternate viewers in the states, in New York City. Square four. Good night to all alternate viewers and families from Canada, America. A very Merry Christmas to you and your families. Okay, Easy D says yes, extra sugar causes hyperaction in children. Good point, Ramon. And kids end up getting unnecessary licks. You get paint. Mm-hmm. I Georgia more. No, no, no. I grew up eating food for breakfast with my grandmother. The baby bloomers changed that.
All right. She went.
Mhm. Peter King. A Bajan woman went to America overnight, then she come back talking like a Yankee. Mm. Sir Alfred Benjamin. 30 years in the USA and my accent is still Barbados, Bajan. It's standard English with my identity. So Patrick Designs. As a child, my grandmother used to give me dunks, fat porks, and a bag with salt as part of we snack time. That's a great snack.
Yeah.
That's a great
No.
snack. Yeah. Alicia Franklin. But as a Bajan, we can speak like anyone from the Caribbean, but they can't speak ours. That is true. I do think on alternate view, Barbadians have the ability to adapt very, very, very well wherever they are in the world. And that could be used negatively or that could be used positively. So
Mm.
mm,
Let me just say too, some of them use the accent obviously to communicate with their friends, their new friends and so forth. Because you don't want people asking all the huh? Huh? Pardon me? You understand? So sometimes they would obviously slow down and they might change the accent a little bit just to communicate effectively with the people with the new friends overseas. So they might change it because of that, but they then cannot switch off sometimes when they come back here. So yeah.
Judge Ramon, you hear the Chinese ambassador speaking English? No one complains. I think that's a self-perception. Julian Grant, Kemar, you dare not speak like that at the St. Michael School under Dame Patricia Simmons. Oh, that's another conversation we go again to. The socialization that happens at certain schools and spaces. Marlon Bradford, you're right. The Queen's English ain't the only English. Our language is a very important part of our culture. Square four. I tried eating some ramen when I finished. I was so hungry. I said never again. I don't think ramen is good. I try them because real people buy them. I buy them too.
The fact that you hungry again might be the worms, boy. Might be the worms.
That was tomorrow.
It
Was
might be the
tomorrow.
worms, boy. The fact you hungry, you still hungry. The worms done got out and lick up, boy.
For sure. You just eat for taste. You
You
eat for the
got
sustenance.
the worms do the rest. Let me tell you.
Mhm. Caribbean girl. Exactly. It's difficult communicating when others can't understand you,
Yeah,
but changing the accent is something different.
yeah.
Okay. Fair point, Caribbean girl. Yeah. I do
Got a
think
lot
though
of
it
comments.
speaks it speaks to I would just say the comment section speaks to the wide array of people that we are attracting here at Alternate Views and
Yeah.
buy into this type of conversation and are willing to give their true and authentic views to it. So thank you all for the comments that you share. There was a lot today, given that is our season finale. I think it was right that we give space to our viewers that made this all worth it.
Yeah.
So thank
But
you all.
but but you don't hear somebody say that people here dealing with drugs. That
Oh,
the alternative views of the drug. Huh?
do
It's dope. Narcotics.
oh boy. No, it's a good this good and bad, but I think this is
Huh?
good. This is good
No,
though.
this is good. This is
It's
good,
a
man.
good
This is good.
feeling.
And
You
the
walk
comment
away
section,
from
people,
alternate viewers.
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, people debating. Obviously, our viewers debating in the comment section. That's a different level there. It shows that the level of conversation. The food for thought. You know,
Hmm.
so really good,
Yeah,
really good.
for sure.
Yeah.
Good engagement.
Well, fellas, we are at the finale of Alternative Views Season 2. So I want to officially, on camera, thank Nigel Franklyn for being a regular guest. Uh, Next year, officially, we are hoping to have him on board as a host, fully full time, as long as time permits. Um, so I'll personally thank Nigel for coming on, expressing his uh, alternate views. You were a definite addition and an asset to the program. And I'm sure many alternate viewers would have benefited from your knowledge. And I'm sure many alternate viewers, even those persons living in the diaspora like you, those persons who are in America like you, are very glad to know that there are Barbadians all over the world who still have a deep interest in ensuring that Barbados survives. And for that, I want to personally thank you for you know, making alternative views your launching pad. And I want to encourage you, to let us keep it going. Let us be lifelong learners. And yeah, on behalf of all of the alternate viewers, I personally thank you, Mr. Nigel Franklyn.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
yeah, Ramon, my brother, I want to personally thank you for being my resident host on Alternate Views. My respect for you is truly roof, and I see that you are definitely a hard worker, and I think that I made an excellent choice in having Ramon Goodman on the program as a co-host. This is what life is all about. This is what being actionable as a young person is all about. Collaborating with other like minds and taking it forward. I'm sure that with you being on here, like Mitchell, many persons across Barbados, many persons across the world, many persons in Ireland, like Sheepdog, like Christopher Harris, these persons squared four, right? Many of the persons on here have a deep love for the man Ramon Goodman, and I personally want to express my gratitude to you for accepting and becoming a co-host on Alternate Views, uh, the program.
Oh man, thanks a lot, Kimar. Kimar, I want to thank you.
I,
Again,
I, I can let the fellas have the moment. I can let the
oh,
fellas have the moment.
yeah,
But you know,
yeah,
I put my some I can let the fellas have the last word.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to also thank Melissa Howard, who was on the show with us earlier as a co-host. We like having Melissa on, and we're very grateful to have had a female perspective on alternate views. So we definitely want to big ups to Melissa, thank her, and we look forward to working with her, in the future.
Sure.
Lastly, let me thank all of my alternate viewers who religiously come on here, to get their hit of the good stuff every Thursday, um, live in Rastaman's chambers. you know, Thank you very much, alternate viewers. We love you on here. This show was able to attract international interest. We were given an award all the way in Dublin, Ireland, as an emergent venture, bold idea, transforming, uh, economy and society. So we definitely want to respect the platform, respect the alternate viewers. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for coming on every Thursday and giving you guys that encouragement. We are young men and we needed the support. You gave us that support. So therefore we can go into society and to say definitely that the narrative that the youth and the seniors cannot work hand in hand is a myth, and alternate views demolish that myth, and that we were able to form a synergy and energy and a family, as the mom said, every Thursday on this program. So I want to invite you all to look out on the live stream for when our next show is going to be held January 2025. We're coming back bigger, we're coming back better with definite upgrades. Um, You want to give big respect to the Caribbean Progress Studies Institute, big respects to lifelong learning, big respects to alternate views. A huge thank you to Randall Calendar, the editor of Alternate Views, Margot Jewett Calendar, the publisher of Alternate Views. I want to give respects to Dr. Dennis Law, rest in peace. Oh, and before you forget, rest in peace also to Walter Blackman. We would have attended his funeral today, a comrade in arms. So we pay our final respects as well on today, which is the 19th of December 2024, to our comrade Walter Blackman. We love you, Walter. May you sleep. Um, Try not to use that word peace, but may you sleep holistically, my brother. Respect. So, fellas, over to you. Um, Ramon, since you are the resident host, we're gonna put it in your hands.
Boy, where do I start? I know what I can start at the beginning. I just want to thank you, Kim. Are you doing all the thanks and so forth? But I really, really want to thank you. I appreciated the opportunity. I have learned so much. I can't even words cannot even express how much I've learned on this show. Um, it has been a really, really, really inspiring experience. Right. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank the viewers. Nigel, top class stuff. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being a part of the panel. And I hope that you become obviously a permanent uh, resident here. Right? To all the viewers, to all the debates, to all the topics. You guys are extremely versed in terms of what the knowledge you have. We have discussed a good set of topics on this show, and you guys were able to have some form of input every single Thursday night. And we go on for 2 hours and 30 minutes every single Thursday night. On Wednesday nights, and I said before, sometimes it was, I mean, this topic here, we can talk for 2 hours and 30 minutes. But we are not just lecturing you guys. We have a valuable conversation. Every single Thursday night, I learn something new every single Thursday night. So I want to say all the best to your family for Christmas, for the holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, for the holidays, and a blessed New Year. And I cannot wait. You see this Thursday here that coming, God's Spirit Life. I don't even know what you can do. I don't know what you can do. I don't have a clue what you can do. And a lot of you guys who would have taken the time out to listen to the show, to give your comments, etc., etc. We thank you. We give your heartfelt thanks for all your contributions. And continue to forward, continue to follow, continue to share. We are alternate views.
Well said. Well said. I will be very hard to follow, but um, want to start with the viewers. You this is a space that is unlike any other. We have three young gentlemen, sons of the soil, that come together and we speak on heavy topics. Topics that the average young person don't really study or think about. But we gotta start somewhere. And I thank you guys for allowing us to express ourselves and also add value to us as we traverse these topics and try to come to conclusions, try to build solutions, um, try to progress, to be progressive, proactive, and positive. That those are the three P's that I run off of. Progressive, proactive, and positive. So thank you to all the alternate viewers. Have a happy holidays. Enjoy time with family. Enjoy times with friends. Life is short. Really be mindful and present. That we have a lot to be grateful for. So I am very grateful to you guys. Ramon, very grateful to you as well. You guys welcome me with open arms. I like Proverbs say, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens the other. We getting sharp. We getting sharp. Every Thursday we sharpening. You know something I don't know. I know something you don't know. Kemar, with his wealth of knowledge about the economy, about
Yeah,
Barbados, about the
sure.
global system. Like hats off. So again, thank you for allowing this space to exist. Thank you for being consistent because it's not easy to be consistent every single Thursday and then have something to talk about for 2.5 hours. It's not
Wow.
an easy thing. So hats off to you. And Mr. Stewart, you are the maverick. You are the brainchild behind this. Um, I commend you. I commend you. You are making waves not just across the region but globally. You know, it's unfortunate that it took Ireland to come to recognize it, but I'm pretty sure you can get you flowers soon, sooner or later. You know, from the island that you are striving to make better, to push forward. So thank you very very much for creating this space. Thank you for being consistent, and I am very, very intent on being a part of this growth, this alternate views. You know, the vision is bright and the future is bright. We're gonna go through a little, it can be rough, but we can stay the course. We definitely can stay the course. So thank you, and thank you again to the alternate viewers.
Well, thank you, fellas, very much for coming once more. Gonna make better friends. When your parents send you to school, so you gotta keep proper friends. You gotta get proper friends. I think I chose proper friends with your parents. You know, so I'm very happy to be associated with you. Um, Again, thanks to everybody again. Hope I'm not forgetting anybody in particular. So this is a generic shout out to everybody,
For sure.
just in case that cause yeah, just in case I don't remember. There's a generic shout out to everybody, all my colleagues, all my comrades, all my friends, um, everybody. Um, Merry Christmas to my party as well for avoidance of doubt. You know, the DLP. Merry Christmas to the comrades. Merry Christmas to all of Barbados, the entire diaspora. Happy. Love you all. But we are at the end of this season. My heart is breaking. It's melting. And I really don't want to go. You know, um, fellas, thanks again. Alternate viewers, thanks again. Sponsors, thanks again. Almighty God in heaven, how could we not mention you?
For sure. For sure.
Thank you for inspiring us, motivating us, hey, motivating us. Um, Let me just put this out here and say that although I've had this don't do Christmas, which is I don't do Christmas or big Christmas honestly. But there are other people in the world who celebrate Christmas. And they think very highly of, the season. Don't mind you know, the historical facts attached to it. We know, and we accept. But there are still many persons around Barbados who believe that, Christmas is a time of giving. It is that season. And many people, the only time that they have to look forward to during the year is that period. So we don't want to take that away, you know, because slowly educate persons with higher knowledge and higher learning, lifelong learning, as it associates with the Christmas thing. But we just want love. We just want happiness. And we just want, everybody to be happy, right, fellas?
Come on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We stay here. We looking at we smiling and laughing, right? But uh, this withdrawal gonna be serious, boy. This Thursday night, this withdrawal gonna be serious, boy. I give me a fetal position, get ready to cry. Like Thursday, yeah, Thursday night. Anyhow,
But yeah, we positive, progressive, and proactive, man. That's the vibe we pushing straight.
We might have a fan here who's saying, Ramon, congratulations on your power move joining the DLP. I can see your success glowing in your face. You will win your first election.
yeah, blessings
Yeah,
on Peter King for sure. And season's greetings, obviously, to my party. Um, has been a fantastic race so far. It's a fantastic journey, and blessed and love all the time for sure, man. Season's greetings to all. I want to say a special big up to Orange Hill, a special big up to St. Andrew. We coming.
yeah.
We
Well,
gonna link.
it's
We gonna link.
how could they, in that case, how could they not say hi to everybody in the parish of St. John?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
You
man.
know, how could they not? So,
Yeah, man.
let's see there along the lake, but respect to everybody in the parish of St. John. Uh, everybody would know. It's never been a hidden fact that I do my community work in the parish of St. John. And I am definitely working with St. John politically. It's no secret, and I will continue to do my work to uh, bring to the fore, represent the issues for the people who live in that particular constituency and within respective communities. So, good night to everybody on the eastern side of Barbados, St. John. We will see each other during the Christmas period, as you know, there is some on the ground work that we have to do. You know, people are in need. You know, we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, oh Lord, I like to start something there. Fellas, thank you again. It is 9:50 p.m. at night, and we are out of here, and I will see you guys next year.
Yeah, man.
Have a good
Yeah, you too. But we gonna link. We gonna link. Shout Nigel. We gonna shout Nigel there. We gonna link, man, for sure. For sure, sure,
One
sure.
love, one love, one love,
Yeah,
one
man.
love.
That's up. Yeah.